Welcome back to iHeartRadio. So bad it's good. Listen, it's Memorial Day, right? That's what I've been told. It's Memorial Day, even though I've been literally agoraphobic and hiding in my house for so long now since Scandal started. But I wanted to do a show because I know a lot of you expect a show even on holiday weekends, and there is no better person to do this with than my next guest. You might know her from Instagram, her deep dives, not only in terms of pop culture, but in terms of beauty standards. She's been on the show so many times now, and she just had the biggest life event in her own life recently. And of course, I'm talking about the first part of the Vanderpump Rules reunion. No, she actually just got married. So Dana Omari from IG Famous by Dana, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. I love being on your show.
Yeah, I know. I mean, listen, I reached out as a long shot because you did get married last weekend, I think. And I was like, are you on your honeymoon yet? And you're like, no, that's the, so I'm shocked you're here. How the heck was the wedding?
It was great. It was amazing, gorgeous, good food. Everyone drank a lot. It was awesome. And then 3 days later was the reunion.
So yeah, which one was better for you? Like, cause you threw a huge party I saw. Where are you located? You're in
Houston.
Houston, by the way. Were you at Tom's free concert a couple weeks ago on the street?
No, but my friends were.
What were they magically blown away? Or did Tom win them back over?
No, not at all. In fact, they went there to hate watch, I guess.
Which is a valid form of watching these days, it seems.
Yeah.
Like.
No, it was crazy because they're like, he actually wasn't great. Like, this is what one of my best friends said. She said, he has a really good karaoke voice, but not a good actual singer voice. And I was like, fair. Makes sense.
That's you're like, I've actually been karaokeing with Tom over the years. And I will always say, I've always been blown away by when he karaoke's because he's so committed to the karaoke. Like, like I'm like, holy crap, this guy's like, and you like to see somebody with passion. And that's why I really enjoyed Tom and his band when I would see him pre-Scandal, because I like people that are really passionate. But now once this it becomes really murky for me because I'm like, you know what? It now seems weird that you're still out there on the road with this kind of passion when all of this is, you've caused all of this.
Yeah, no, it was really funny because she said basically he just does covers, but that he did have an original song. And I'd made a joke that it was giving Superstar vibes. Do you remember that movie? One of my favorite movies ever.
Superstar, Molly Shannon, yes.
Yeah, I was like, it's giving Superstar vibes. And she was like, that's so funny because that's the name of his only original song that he performed. Superstar. Was Superstar.
Yeah. I always say this, and he reminds me of Boogie Nights, that movie with Mark Wahlberg, where Mark Wahlberg plays the porn star with the huge dong. And he's like, at the end of the movie, he's like, I'm a big, bright, shining star. I'm a star. I'm a big, bright, shining star. And he has this like rock band with his buddy, John C. Reilly, and he can barely hold a tune. I mean, and that's the thing is, I wanted to start. That's like, well, actually, anyway, so the marriage was good. The wedding was good. All of that was great.
Yes. It was great.
The Vanderpump Rules party. Yeah, love my husband, all of that crap. Like, yeah, by the way,
move on from there now.
have you made him watch Scandal and say, hey, buddy, we're not having any friends that are girls in our lives.
So, do you follow Elise Myers?
I love Elise. Yes.
Okay. So she posted this, I guess a real TikTok, I don't know. And she's just like, my husband not watching Vanderpump Rules. And it's like this guy who's like, I mean, she's being her husband. And he's like, so what are you watching? This looks stupid. And then he's like, so there's two Toms? That's confusing. Oh, you're still watching? I'm about to leave. Are you going to watch without me? Are you not going to pause for me? Like, that's literally what like Trey like watches from the other side of the apartment. And he's like commenting like, oh yeah, I'm so stupid.
The guys guys seem to be really scared to admit they like Bravo, but they are so quick to like Bravo. Like, but they'll do it. They'll be on their laptop or their phone. And then eventually by the end of the season, from all the information I gather, they're fully in it. They're more invested than the women sometimes.
Oh yeah. I mean, he loves Potomac. So
your party you threw, was there tons of people there for the watch party?
Tons. Oh my gosh. So we had it at Be More Pacific, which is one of my friend's bars. And I did not expect the turnout, but the Houston Chronicle had picked it up. There was a line wrapped around the door. It was insane. So we're doing
That's
more
awesome.
this week to like get more people
Where are
in.
the ones this week so we can
It's the
plug
same.
those?
It's at Be More
Same place?
Pacific. Yeah. So
Do you
they're
just
like
show
adding
up, or
more seating. Huh?
do you just show up, or do you have to buy
Yeah.
tickets?
Yeah. No, it's free. I mean, why would we gatekeep Bravo?
That's very that you shouldn't gatekeep Bravo. Me and Kiki Takashane were trying to throw something together, and I couldn't. It was just too much. But I know there's like watch parties out there. But then I get scared going to these watch parties. Like I really have fully become agoraphobic in a lot of ways. Like I'm scared to sometimes. Yeah, like I'm scared to go out there in public and watch. I don't know. That's neither here nor there.
Honestly, it was awesome because so they had it on all the TVs. They have TVs everywhere, and then they have 2 karaoke rooms, and they have big screens in there. So they're gonna do stadium seating this time in there. So there's just a lot of
stadium seating.
Yeah, like they're just gonna have chairs. I mean, I guess it's not like inclined, but there's like tons of chairs for everyone to be able to sit because it was packed. But they had it on all the TVs, and then they put the sound over the speakers, and then they had captions going. When I tell you, first of all, it was so loud, and then a hush would fall over the crowd as soon as it came on, and then there's like the jeering and the clapping, like when Lala was on, they're like, yeah, Lala, and every time Tom was on, I was like, boo, boo. It was like watching a sports event.
Yes,
like, it was our Super Bowl. It was amazing.
I mean, that's it. Like that. I mean, listen, I'm a guy, and I know I'm allegedly supposed to like sports, but I never did. I never did. But I love these shows, and these shows are my sports because we talk about them and we study them the way I see my dude friends study sports. The draft and all of these things, and I'm proud of that. I think there's nothing to be ashamed for. So people that want to shame people, like Liev Schreiber, who did that, like, is this news the other week? Like, F you. Like, honestly, like, this is like, let people like what they like. I mean, period. There's no other addition.
Are you joking? Like, the New York Times wrote a whole thing on Ariana and Scandival. Like, I don't know. I think it's just like whenever it comes to anything that is predominantly like women loved, it's just considered
interesting.
A lower art, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what is like better about people throwing a ball around than reality TV. I like sports. I genuinely love sports, but it's kind of like when you think of rom-coms or like women's literature, women's fiction, it's just considered a lower genre. And I'm like, why? And also women, we're the ones that buy stuff. So.
Well, Dana, get this. I read a rumor this week, and I don't know if you can back me up on this. Turns out women are the people that birth everybody.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, like you guys are the ones that actually birth all the people.
Like 99.9%, right? Wow.
I think so. Like I don't know if there's a rumor. I saw it on TMZ, but I mean, it is the misogyny that goes in with all of these things is wild because at every turn they're trying to say like, you suck, it's really weird.
Yes. And then like actually like women, I don't know the exact statistics. I'm going to throw out just a random number. It is probably right. But it's like women make like 80% of household decisions and like the purchasing power. Like even if it's not their money, they're the ones spending the money. So why wouldn't you advertise to women? I'm just saying, like from a business perspective, like when I was telling the bar owner, he was not sold on it. In fact, the first day, it was great. It was amazing. I talked to all these people. They loved it. But logistically, I was freaking out because they were like down a bartender, they were down a server, whatever. There's like, and it's because they didn't take it seriously. They're like, okay. I was like, you're going to have tons of women and men. There were lots of men there too, but tons of women buying drinks. And he was like, this was like our biggest Wednesday ever. And he just didn't get it. Like, for him, if I told him World Series Astros, he would have been like, oh, understood. Like, I get it.
Yeah. But the Vanderpump economy is like blown up in so many ways, but I think there's legs for doing this kind of stuff in the future. Regardless, my dream ever since the beginning of this show was like, wouldn't you love, I mean, now a bar's even better, but like, I always like, why don't you show classic Bravo episodes at AMC movie theaters? Like, wouldn't you love to like Nicole Kidman comes on, I'm like, this is the place we come for magic. And like, I mean, really, if you could watch the Vanderpump reunion in like those like nice reclining AMC, theater seats, or watch an old Scary Island Real Housewives of New York episode at a movie theater, this could save the movie industry.
No, that's amazing. But like with the bar thing, I think it's also that camaraderie. And this
Yeah.
girl told me, she was like, watching it with all these other fans was just a completely different experience. She was like, this was amazing. And it really was.
It's another thing about going to Tom Sandoval's live shows is that because I was like, I didn't understand it. I was like, why are you guys? This seems a little tacky, but then it was being explained to me in a different way. And it was like, they were like, well, you've seen Countess Luann 3 times. And I'm like, sure, I follow her around like the Grateful Dead. But, it's not even, it's like when the Countess Luann shows, it's wild because people will be having full conversations over her singing because it is that camaraderie about meeting fellow Bravo fans that love what you love. And I think that's kind of what the Tom Sandoval thing is too, of like getting together and commiserating and being like, oh my God, what a season, right?
Literally. And yeah, another girl even said, it's so nice to not have to explain what I'm talking about. Like, I'm just sitting here with people who get it.
Yeah, and like Tom screeching is the background noise. I mean, on TikTok, I've been watching so many clips about his shows, and this is the thing that starts to worry me. Is like, and I think it ties into ego. We're not supposed to diagnose, but there's a potential, narcissistic tendencies, as we've talked about. Is that, the band is really, it seems like a really decent band. And he can, like you said, a great karaoke voice, but all of these clips, like, why would you ever choose Freddie Mercury from Queen? Why would you? And the clips are like, and it's this thing. I'm like,
yeah,
why would you do this to yourself? Like, why would you not make it easier and like, let's do a lower note? And it makes me think, like, is this dude thinking clearly? Like, what's in it for him at this point?
Honestly, he really likes the spotlight. I mean, Ariana, I don't remember. I've watched so many things that things are starting to blur together. But at one point, I don't know if it was like the Call Her Daddy or if it was Watch Out for 5. But at one point, she said something along the lines of, I think he's enjoying the attention. Like, I don't think he's that upset that he's painted as this like negative character just because people are talking about him and posting him, which, the Glamour article. Oh my God.
Okay, yes, we got to talk about the Glamour article because this happened Friday. Now, Stephanie McNeil, I believe is her name. She's a really, and actually she has a book coming out. I'd love to talk to Stephanie. I've liked her for many years.
Can you talk about the blessing that is, we are now all mentioning her name right before her book comes out? Like, shout out to Stephanie McNeil.
She has a book right about to come out. And Tom,
tell her to send us one. Stephanie, if you're listening to this, send us a book.
Yeah, for real, Stephanie. Tom has like not had tons to say about his actual actions, about cheating, affairs, and all this.
That's what I was going to say.
Stephanie does this article saying that Tom has ruined white men's nail polish, and he literally was like, how dare you? You can call me a cheater and all of this stuff, but when you say so, and he went on a tirade of like, you call this journalism, and then he misspelled a couple of words in the actual diatribe, and then he also looked up what journalism was on Google,
and he said and tagged her. He was like, you should uphold this, put this in your back pocket.
Laminate this and put this in your back
pocket.
Well, but it made me so sad. And I know I was like, oh shit, he must be really drunk. And then I guess yesterday at a show, you guys, he said he's 50 days sober. And I'm like, you did that sober? You went after Stephanie McNeil about white nail polish sober? Like, is there anybody around you saying, dog, you need to stop? Like, you need to chill out and stop, because it was just like, don't give us more reasons to like dislike or poke fun at you when there's like so much already there.
Right. And then London Nails, whatever. I don't know the brand. It's
OPI, I think.
It wasn't OPI. It was London. It's the little square ones. They literally made a white nail polish now called For Everyone But Tom Sandoval. And I'm like, what if that was your legacy? Is that you have an iconic white nail polish?
Sounds like he might like
for everyone but Tom.
It's so bizarre, but like I just still am trying to get into that mind frame of this is the thing you lash out at. Like this is the thing of like it's gone too far. This white nail polish I pull off and it's amazing. And I just felt like it made me even more sad because I was like, dude, like what are you doing?
Yeah, I wonder what is going through his head right now as Ariana is getting like thing after thing. I mean, it wasn't Saks. I don't know. Some big
Bloomingdale's.
Bloomingdale's, and Uber Eats, and I mean that song is like playing like nonstop in my head. Just all of these
The good
iconic
is
and
gold Uber One
amazing
remix.
sponsorships. I'm sorry.
The good is gold Uber One
Yeah,
remix.
yeah,
Song of the
yeah.
summer. Yeah.
Basically, I mean, it's a hit. Um, and then she's gonna be on Dancing with the Stars. Like, what is happening in his head? Like, is he like, oh my god, I really fucked up, or is he this should happen to me? Like, what's happening?
Well, Dana, you know what I actually was thinking a lot about this weekend was that what I'm starting to sense, and I know this is probably obvious to a lot of people, is that there's an undercurrent of extreme anger against Ariana, even before Scandal broke. Like, it really is
Yeah,
starting to seem like he really just kind of held things against her. And in fact, even in that finale episode, when he yelled, "Oh, you know everything," like, it really sounds like he was sick of her. He was angry with her for many reasons.
yeah.
And I think that's even coming out now. Is just there's this extreme anger, like, look at what you did, Ariana, instead of look at what I did.
Right. I'm really wondering if it was just that because he said it multiple times. He said, and then I turned 40, and then I turned 40. And I feel like he has like misguided or misdirected anger towards her. And from what I understand, they went to therapy and she like was changing the behaviors that he didn't like. And it was heartbreaking, honestly, when she said, any part of me that you didn't like, I would have changed.
Yeah, wasn't
Anything
that
that you
line
did.
dark?
I was literally like crying the first time. I was like, oh, Ariana, no, you're perfect. You didn't need to change, you know? But I feel like he just had all of this like anger and like just weariness about him turning 40, and
Yeah.
he needed like he was trying to direct it at her and she was just absorbing it. And he was like, well, what do I do with it? Like, you need to send it back. Like, we need to fight. And she's just like, okay, I'll fix this. Okay, go on your tour. Okay, whatever you need to do. Like, I want you to be here and cook with me and go on walks. But if you need to go, go. And he's like, where's the
That's
fight?
that's
Why
such
are
an
we
interesting
fighting?
word about absorbing, is that you're kind of right. It seems like she was, and I don't, I want to use this carefully, but it does seem like it potentially held her down in a lot of ways, because you see without that negative energy, is that she's thriving. And I would actually dare to say Katie Maloney as well. Once you are
Yes.
stopping to have to take in all of this negative energy of your partner and whatever they're going through, because I'm not saying that this was maybe purely directed at Ariana or Katie, but there is a negativity around these men. Like,
Right.
I sat there last night. I was like, why am I so sad sometimes? I was sitting there going like, my own energy. Why am I so sad? And I'm like, we put this off on other people. And it's like this,
Right.
the burden of being a man. Like, and I know it's silly
Right.
because you're like, this is ridiculous. I got it all. And then,
No.
but you're like, why do I still feel this way sometimes? But these people put it off on their partners, and you see them without their partners and they thrive.
Yes. Okay. So I think it was CC Loves You. I'm trying to give all the creators all of
Oh
their
my
whatever.
goodness. There's so many creators now.
I think CC Loves You. She posted something like the two guys who are always like blaming their partners. She was mainly talking about Schwartz, like, oh, Katie, that she was like dragging him down, or providing unhappiness in his life. When they're apart, now that they're both apart, Ariana and Tom, Sandoval and Schwartz and Katie and Ariana are thriving, and Schwartz and Sandoval are like at their lowest. I know Sandoval's going through something, but even Schwartz is not in a good place either. And it's
Yeah,
like
I think
without their partners, they're worse.
Well, the Schwartz is not in a good place. Even the way we frame these things and we talk about it is interesting. Is Schwartz not in a good place? And when you say something like that about somebody, you're like, oh, should we rally around this person and help them and save them? And I feel
Yeah.
like that's something that Schwartz especially has depended on and expected from people of save
Yeah.
me, help me, take care of me. And it's like, maybe this is the time to take care of yourself. Life presents you with this opportunity, and either you thrive like Katie and Ariana are doing, or you stay in that same place and expect the same pattern of behavior from other people around you. Because I would
Exactly.
dare to say, and by the way, this is a surprise announcement, Katie Maloney will be on Tuesday's podcast of So Bad It's Good.
Oh my God, tell her I love her so much, and that I've been telling everyone I'm a Katie. Like I want to be a Lala, but I'm a Katie.
I
Like
listen,
silent sniper.
I said at the beginning of this season, before Scandal broke, the one person I wanted to speak to was Katie Maloney. So it was because I just thought, in that mind frame of making one of the toughest decisions for yourself and your own life and your own well-being, most people don't make that decision for themselves. Most people stay in the thing that holds them down. And you've always got to look at the person. They might not pop on camera the way that like a Schwartz does, but you got to look at that because that's an inner strength that most people don't have.
No, Katie is so amazing. And I felt for her so hard. I genuinely like Schwartz when he was doing the whole, oh, I thought we were supposed to be friends. Oh, if I don't do one thing you don't like, then we can't be friends. I'm like, well, that's actually typically how friendships work. If you cross the boundary, we're no longer friends. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Dana, I did this on the recap on Friday because the actual dialogue you're talking about like totally took me out. It's this. Katie's talking in the reunion and she goes, when you're trying to build a friendship with somebody, there's things you just need: honesty and respect and loyalty and integrity. Those are the things I look for in friends. And Schwartz literally comes back and goes, so if I don't abide by all your terms, we can't be friends. I'm like, the terms are honesty and loyalty.
But also, that's literally what it's like to have a friend. If I expect certain things from your friendship and you don't, like, if you never text me back, we're not going to be friends. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's very basic. People will cut a friendship off before a relationship. Are you joking?
But it's just like, those are the basic building blocks of any relationship. He's like, oh, why are you asking all these things of me, you shrew? It's like the pins and batteries thing with Ariana. Like, how dare that biatch not stock pins and batteries? No wonder these men are out there doing what they're doing in the streets.
I know. I was joking. I was like, I don't even know if Trey knows where the batteries are. Then I asked him, I was like, Trey, where are the batteries? And he was like, in that drawer. And I was like, oh, at least you know where they are. Like,
what if Trey was like,
buy them?
Trey was like, oh, you mean the ones you never buy? The ones I always buy? Like, no, I love that moment as well. But it is fascinating. I wanted to read you this article that came out this morning, Dana. And this, I think, is not even the terms of the information in the article, but it's a perfect example of how pop culture PR media is. Now, this is a TMZ article, and this is the headline: Tom Sandoval booking concerts like crazy, ... recovering through music. And it's this article about Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. For example, their show at the Wolf Den at Mohegan Sun Casino had a massive turnout, marking the first time in this venue had people lining up to get into a 350-seat theater. Tom's crew also sold out the Gramercy Theater in New York City the following night, with the line wrapping around the block. Even Saturday Night Live star Chloe Fineman got to meet Tom backstage after the show. We doubt she waited in line. So this article keeps going, talks about his fundraiser, and then this is the best part. Tom tells TMZ his recent fallout with Ariana Madix has been a difficult and emotional thing for him to navigate, adding he's been in, quote, some really dark places at times, and music has really helped me get through it. And then the last paragraph I want to pay attention to is, of course, Ariana has been doing pretty well on the other side too. Not only does she have a new boo, but she's been striking brand deals with SoFi, and these are in highlights: Raising Cane's, and even a sex toy company. Okay. So, Dana, what do you think about that article? What do you think about that article?
First of all, I also threw an event where the line was wrapped around the door for Be More Pacific to watch Vanderpump. I mean, I don't know. What does that even mean? But I will say, so the Houston show was one of the shows that like actually got national and media attention because there was like the girls that were
they were on the show. Those girls holding up the signs came on So Bad It's Good the Monday after and let us know.
So it got media attention. First of all, so Houston has a summer series, and what they do is, I mean, they pay them. It's not like Tom wasn't paid. Yeah, the city of Houston, from our taxpayer money, I guess, I don't know, pays different shows every Friday throughout the summer. It's just like a summer block party type situation. It's free for everyone. So anyone can go. He said it was sold out, 2,000 people. It was 200 people. Yeah. It was actually one of the smallest shows that will play this year over there.
I still think 200 people. That's, I mean, like, oh, cool. Like that's still a decent amount, but it's definitely not 2,000.
Well, right. It was not 2,000. And I mean, I know a lot of people there, they were there for him to like hate watch him or whatever, but like people also just go to go. Like it's a Friday night thing every Friday. So people just go. You know what I mean? It's not like they were necessarily there for him. So when he like took that picture, you could see it because it's like this block. It's called the Avanadas in Houston. And he was like, 2,000 people, sold out show. I was like, sir, people just showed up. It was free.
Sold out.
Free. I actually, I'm going to write to the mayor and be like, why are you spending my tax money on him? Are you joking? No, just kidding. I know that they booked him before. I get it. And then he did the same thing in Austin. It was like another like free show. Like we're not spending money. Now, I don't know about the other shows, but like, it's better to say nothing. And I feel this way about plastic surgery. It's better to say nothing than to lie. Just like don't.
Oh, are you talking about like
had a great show in Houston? That's the truth.
So
don't lie.
What if Tom Sandoval says he's finally discovered hiking and that's what made him drop the weight like Mindy Kaling did? I mean, are we talking about that potentially of maybe just not saying anything instead of saying I finally found the right way to lose weight?
Yes.
Okay.
Although I'm pretty sure all his weight loss is depression and maybe coke.
Oh, but well, Dave, that's the other thing I was thinking about the show too, is that like, at least with the clips, he's ripped. And I know that sounds weird, but like I will say, and you girls are so like girls and you guys are so dirty out there. You're like, well, I really like his body. And like, great, let's objectify men like we objectify women. But thank God he's like weirdly ripped on. Like, do you notice also when he's off stage, it looks creepy, but when he's on stage, you're like, okay, there's abs. There's like, I can see the, we can objectify that, but thank God he at least has that where girls are like still thirsting over him in that way.
I think he's very, very attractive, like physically a very attractive person. And then now with all of this, I'm like, oh.
Oh, so you're saying personality does affect if we like you or not?
Me, in this world. I don't know about other people, but to me, yes.
So back to that article, though, I wanted to point out Tom, and this was, I even knew this before Scandal, and this is, he does have the same PR person for many years now, and he does work with that person very closely, or like this is, so that article in TMZ is what is a planted article, folks. Yes. That is it is something that is all positive. You have a direct quote from Tom in there saying he's healing through music. I don't know if his audiences have been healing with his music with him, but it sounds like another kind of, you could also heal just by listening to music, but he's out there performing. So there's like a little bit of ego and selfishness in that, but like, let's put that aside. The other part of the article that I really found enraging to me, though, Ariana's doing pretty good, too. She's got a new boo, and she's got some brand deals. And the brand deals they highlighted are Raising Cane's and a sex toy company. Now, that leaves out, and like, listen, I was at that Raising Cane's event. I got paid to be there. It was awesome. Nice. Ariana was there. It was so, and by the way, all joking aside, never had Raising Cane's chicken before. Flipping awesome. Like, my God, that was good. But they're putting those in there because they think those are the lesser than ones. And the sex toy one is there, I swear to God, to potentially shame somebody, which we know sex toys, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Right.
But you're leaving out the Bloomingdale's. You're leaving out the Wall Street. Like, you're leaving out all of these other things. And you're putting those in there of like, look at this money grabbing hooer,
Right. Right. I mean, they left out Uber One. They also didn't talk about her movie role that's coming up.
Yeah, Lifetime.
Dancing with the Stars, that she went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like,
I mean, all of these huge things, you're picking the two things that are weird. Like, and I don't even think there's anything to be ashamed of, but I can guarantee you that's what it is in there, is to kind of put a little bit of a negative spin on this whole thing.
I agree. It was definitely shady.
So I thought that is interesting. And always, like, when you read those things on Daily Mail, TMZ, any of those things, you guys, we're a sophisticated audience, but always be aware of why you're reading this at this time and when it comes out. Because this is like, Tom is now on this trying to rehab his image, even though, like you said earlier, I think him just being quiet would rehab it more than anything else. In fact, Raquel has stayed quiet. I mean, I don't even know if she really knows how to speak at this point, but like, we're out there dunking on her, but at least there's nothing coming back from, except, it came out this week. Did you hear that thing? The lightning postcard that came to Ariana and Tom's house?
No.
Okay. So Janet Elizabeth was on Kristen Doty's podcast. Now, Janet Elizabeth is good friends with all of these guys. She actually did help them with something about her merch. Awesome girl. But she revealed on Doty's podcast that she's one of those people that go over and help with things, takes, all this stuff. Raquel sent in letters that were like sealed. That was revealed on Watch What Happens
Right.
Live. Those weren't touched. But then Raquel must have heard that was, she's aware of that letters are coming in, because the next letter that happened this week was a postcard.
Okay, what was said? What was on the
The
postcard?
postcard, guess what?
Also, what was the picture on the postcard? Do you know?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, tell us.
Desertscape with lightning bolts.
Mm.
Lightning bolts.
Mm.
But the thing on the back, Janet was like, it was weirdly remedial. It wasn't anything. It was like, hey, Tom,
Don't
like
say
it was,
remedial.
it was weirdly
Yeah,
like,
she just said,
are you having a good summer, Tom? I'm having a difficult one. No, it was this kind of weird, but it is interesting of like, why do you seal your letters? And then once that is revealed that you sealed a letter, you all of a sudden send a postcard, almost like potentially. But anyways, Janet was on part 2 of my episode on Friday, because I was like, you got to come in and tell the audience what you said on Doty's if they don't hear it on Doty's. And it is weird but at the same time, if we didn't have that piece of information, Raquel would have been fully silent, and we are left to kind of just wonder, which is sometimes better than being in our face like Tom is and not just chilling out.
I think so, but I also I don't know. I feel like Raquel hasn't said enough. I keep thinking about the text that they showed when Ariana was like, this was her apology. And she said, I don't know what to, something along the lines of, I don't know what to say. I fucked up. I'm so sorry. I was like, that's what you say when you like borrow my dress and rip it. Not, you've been sleeping with my husband for 7 months, you know?
No.
Like, I just feel like she hasn't said enough. I don't know.
Yeah, but Dana, the thing that I'm wanting to like temper everybody's expectations is that even when we see her at the reunion, it's not going to be enough. She's not a good communicator. It's not like all of a sudden we're going, I'm not even making fun. Some people just don't have the gift of gab like we do, Dana. But no, like there's not going to be anything. Like that's why it was so brilliant to use the Raquel fan cam in the trailer, because it kept her in it without having to ever say anything.
Just her face.
Just her face. Which, by the way, I already I'm pre-planning my memes tonight of like Raquel fan cam during Succession finale of her like, whoa, like I want a Raquel reaction fan cam on every show out there.
I want to know how real and authentic that is. I want to know if the producers were doing her like dirty. I always think about this. Like, okay, I don't know about you. I watched it like 17 times at this point. I watched the Peacock version, everything.
Yeah.
When Schwartz, I don't know why he said this, but he's like, "Oh, it gave me life, like whatever, to kiss her," and she was giddy, and they cut to her. I want to know how authentic that was. Like, was she actually making that face at that time, or were they cutting it to look like that? I don't know. I want to know.
Well, we're going to cut into in a second here about theories about what the big surprise is. And it does involve like journalistic integrity or like what is the integrity behind a reality show? You know, it's not a documentary per se, but it is in that family. And, you know, I was just watching the Alabama Rush or Bama Rush documentary on HBO Max, or now it's called Max. And, you know, they were trying to, I didn't think it was great at all, but I was like, they're trying to tell the truth of this story. Now, what, you know, are there laws involving reality shows that because I would imagine that really does Raquel dirty if for some reason they put in just a random reaction shot of not that line. I feel like that would almost be really distasteful in a whole nother way of the production. And I feel like, I truly feel like she was making that face at that time. I really do, because at this point they're trying to potentially convince her or her family to let her come on season 11. So they're not going to start just even completely cheating on what they're showing of her if it's not real.
Right. I mean, I agree. The journalistic integrity, I would like to believe that they were saying that's what it was. But if that's truly what was happening, oh my God, like, girl, that is not stoic face. Come on. This is not the time to smile. Are you joking?
But we've seen that she does that time and time again, is that even in the season, like when she went up to Katie at the wine place and was like, I still want to make out with Schwartz. And Katie was like, why are you Katie was like, this is too much. And Ariana was like, I didn't know you had it in you, Raquel. She has a history of saying and doing things that you're like, what are you doing, girl?
Yes. So someone said something along the lines of, Tom told her that it was hot when she stood up to, I believe, Lala. And so like now she's like
Oh
making
yeah.
a point to do it. And I posted something like, she really thought she had main character energy. This was, the stuff that she filmed before everything broke. So she really thought she had main character energy, like out here just saying things. And Lala like reposted it or something. It was so funny. But I like the things that she was saying and doing, like I think she really went in like, oh, I'm going to be amazing on this show. This is going to look great for me. When she sat Katie down and rehashed her making out with Schwartz, I was like, what? Like, what are you doing? And even Katie said, I don't know why you're talking to me about this.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to me about this? I was like, Katie, yes.
It's
yes.
Twilight Zone. It's and it makes like, I just don't think she's able to read social cues on top of impressing Tom, and top of finding herself, all of these reasons. But I also want to get away from the fact, I mean, this is a 28-year-old woman. This isn't like one of the Giudice girls of like, we can't talk about her. Da, da, da. Like, come on. Like at 28, I mean, I know you're still growing, but supposedly the human brain fully forms it by the age of 25. So we're allegedly 3 years past that. Come on. I mean, you're also on a reality show, and she's not new to this. She's been on this show now for like
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. She's been in the background. She's been quiet most of the time. I also just think we shouldn't expect much from her, because I don't know how much is there, or at least how much the camera can pick up on. Like, I know Tom thinks he's had like the conversations of a lifetime with her. We just have never seen that. Like, isn't it interesting too? Is like, even when Tom and Raquel have been friends in the show, I've never really saw the quote unquote magic that Tom felt got his mojo back.
No, I agree, because I think I was on your show in March, like when this was first breaking.
Yeah, you were like the first weekend this broke.
Yes, I was like, I don't understand, because every conversation, like she doesn't add, she just goes, yeah, in her vocal fry to like everything. And I was laughing because there was, I think that the clip for Lala had come out where or maybe it was the episode, I don't remember, but where she's like, come on, I know you can do it. Put two thoughts together. Yeah, I know you got it. I know it's coming. Come on. That's how I felt about her forever. The whole time that I watched her, like before all of this, I didn't like her, not as I don't like her. It was just, I don't know why she's on the screen. I don't know who said, you know what, she would be great for TV, because she's bad. She's bad on TV. She's bad on camera. She's bad in conversations. I don't get it. It was painful to watch the conversations with her and James. Like, James is so quick and so like lively, and then there's her, and I was like, it doesn't compute for me. I don't understand. And now it's even, I'm more confused.
Well,
like, I don't get it.
I think you nailed it with, you said, she'll sometimes be in these conversations and she'll just go, yeah, but think about it. In Sandoval's head, a yeah is like, dude, she really hears me, dude. Oh my God, amazing. Like, she's a mirror for whatever these men want to see in themselves. So for Schwartz, she's like, there's something about that kiss, man. Like, there are these things that we don't see. We can't pick up on because they're so deeply in these men's psyches that for them, it's this spiritual experience, because it's pretty much saying that they're amazing themselves. But it's just a reflection of how deeply they love themselves, these men, or how deeply they want to love themselves. And so that, in that sense, we still don't know who she is. She could be a reflector of anybody. I mean, she did it for DJ James Kennedy. She did it for, and these are all, I mean, male egos, but they're different sorts of male egos. Schwartz is a more tempered, even though he just rages on Katie and he says some nasty things about women, but he's really a softer.
No, I agree. He's softer.
Yeah, and then Sandoval's brash and he's out loud and there. And I don't know. It's interesting. It's all these different type of men. They have a similar thing to say about her that I don't think the screen pops up on, which is really weirdly devious if you think about it. I don't know if it's her plan, but I think it is interesting that it doesn't pop on screen, but it pops in all of their lives.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what producer was like, she's going to be great for TV. I don't know her in real life. She might be awesome in real life, but it just doesn't translate to television. I don't know who said we should put her on TV. She's going to be great for TV, because she's not. I mean, barring this incredible scandal that we're all still talking about for months, had that not happened, there's literally nothing to write home about ever.
Well, I was even trying to think from beauty standards of like, okay, so this is a very pretty girl, right? But like, even without makeup, she's a very, I mean, like, it really does show you the power of like makeup and clothing and things like that, because I was comparing with the TMZ upfront planned interview at the nail salon where she's, in the black hoodie and no makeup at all. And then, it's just very interesting. Even her look is completely changes from, I don't know. Like I just can't get a beat on her. And I don't think we ever really will. I don't think that's ever going to come. So I think we got to realize we're not going to discover everything by the end of the season. But you put this in your stories, and we were all talking about this weekend as well, is that, there is this big surprise. Alex Baskin, the executive producer of Vanderpump Rules for Evolution Media, did many interviews, or a couple of interviews, saying there is one big surprise that we need to have the cast hear before they sign up for season 11, because it could change things. Now that's a huge piece of information to throw out. And it's really made the internet for the Vanderpump go ablaze. Like last week we had a false pregnancy rumor, which was just wild to go through. And I had people that were supposedly connected, saying like, this isn't true, man. Like, and so I stayed away from posting anything about that, because you don't want to be wrong about a pregnancy rumor. Like there are certain things where I'm like, you know what, let's just wait and see on this one. But Lisa, there's a bunch of theories. First off, before I read Lisa's comments, what are your thoughts on what this surprise could be?
I honestly don't know, because they're saying, oh, it's this bombshell and it's going to make the cast rethink signing. And I'm like, I can't think of something that would cause them to not sign. I don't know. Like that's money and attention and fame.
Yeah. So you're going to tell me Sheena's not going to want that paycheck at some point?
Right. Right. And so if I set that aside and be like, I don't think there's anything that would cause them to not sign. I personally think that she was seeing Tom while she was with DJ James Kennedy. I truly believe that, like now looking back, like I thought it was weird at the time, like that he was paying half the engagement, but he was very weirdly invested. And then I don't know which creator, I'm so sorry, but someone reposted where like it was something along the lines of James has always felt like she was maybe unfaithful to him. And he was talking to Tom, and Tom goes, she would never do that to you. She would never be unfaithful. And I also would never betray you. And I was like, that's weird. That's
they showed that in the Peacock extended scenes, I believe.
Yeah. Like that's a weird thing for you to say. What do you mean you betray me? We're not talking about you. We're talking about Raquel. And also their breakup didn't make sense to me, because I wanted them to break up for many of the years. Like, even if I didn't like her, James treated her terribly. He was horrible to her. And I was like, why is she staying? Maybe she's staying for the show. I don't know. And then he actually cleans up his act. He gets sober. He starts treating her arguably better. He proposes to her. They're building a life together. They get the dog. They do all the things. And then she just goes, we fell out of love. And they break up, right? And it's very obvious that she broke up with him. Like, we know that she's the one that ended it. And it just didn't compute to me. Like, why now? Now that he's actually doing all the things that you wanted and he's being the person that you wanted him to be, why? And then now with the Tom thing, I don't know. I feel like there maybe was an overlap. What do you think?
Okay, so that's one of the things, is that the timeline is not correct. Now, also in the Peacock extended version, which I highly recommend for everybody, just to hear the fucks and the shits out loud. They do not censor any of that. So it's empowering.
Different when you hear Andy say fuck.
Yeah, it's very erotic. And they have a scene in there about the Coachella rumor of like Sheena goes in the bucket hat scene in the finale of like, Raquel told somebody that at Coachella, they were in a jacuzzi after you went to bed, and she said was in an open relationship. So that would extend the timeline a little further out. Now, of course, I believe that was a year after the DJ James Kennedy breakup or something. I'm trying to think of, like I said, I made a meme this week. Like, we need a live calendar, and the show needs to pin it on the screen. You know, I used to always think with Bachelor, you need to pin the characters' names for the first 5 episodes so we don't forget. Wouldn't you like it, like a digital tag? But a digital calendar that is an extended feature on Peacock where you can just put it up, because I feel like we'd catch them in lies immediately if we had that calendar.
Right.
But okay, this is why I'm going to do pros and cons of each rumor.
Okay.
So
we have
pro
that
and-
rumor. We have the rumor
Yeah.
that Lisa Vanderpump knew and encouraged.
Yep.
The other rumor that they're moving it to Vegas.
Yeah,
They're
that
gonna
Lisa's
do Vegas.
pulling everything
Yeah.
and moving to Vegas, and Vanderpump Vegas would be a thing, and that they're
Yes.
potentially going to split the shows up.
Okay. So what other rumors have you heard? That's really, I think those are the main ones that I've heard.
So then there was also a rumor. Well, this is that Schwartz, Sandoval, and her had a threesome, and that's going to come out. Which I don't really see why that would, I at this point, I'm assuming they potentially did. Who knows? Which would be so dark. Somebody sent me a show description from like season 2, Never Before, or Secrets Revealed episode, where Sandoval said something how it would be, he used to think it would be really hot to watch Dodie with another man. And somebody sent me this of like, maybe Sandoval gets off on, I don't know. It was a really dark thought. Somebody was saying like that kind of stuff. Somebody was also saying that potentially something about Raquel's mental health will be revealed, or something dark or negative in that sense. Now, this is what Lisa Vanderpump wrote in regards on her Twitter yesterday. She's like, okay, no, I didn't know until a minute before you all did. I wish I would have, though. And then she hashtag pump rules. And then she, in a separate tweet, goes, producers didn't know either, because that was the other rumor. Producers knew. And then Lisa goes, I know the revelation, but it ain't that, which doesn't sound anything like Lisa Vanderpump of like ain't.
I know. I was like, that's Lala. Lala is ain't.
And then somebody writes, sorry, I don't believe this for 1 second. It's so clear she's on Team Scandival because she has investments in him. She knew. And then Lisa goes, excuse me? Don't you call me a liar. I'm upset as everybody else. And then she writes, you did defend him a lot during the reunion. Can I ask why? No, I didn't defend him. How could I? I just don't want to pile on. It scares me when everyone is against one. But yes, I was very disappointed. I found out last. So that was Lisa's Twitter comments. Which, do you think Lisa runs her own Twitter account?
I mean, with that, maybe I don't know. When I read that, I thought that was actually her trying.
But the verbiage, like ain't and spelling though, THO, it just seemed very almost remedial for Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah, well, I don't know what she's like in real life, but she really, really, really did defend Tom Sandoval.
Oh, very much so.
Yes, like to the point, like someone posted, go feed Ken, like get off my screen.
Oh my God. Ken's like, oh, did you know some Sandoval was in a jig? I need a sandwich, please.
And I will say I'm a huge Lisa Vanderpump fan, but I do truly believe that she is a little bit conniving and manipulative and will set the scene for things that she wants done. The scene with Ken, like knowing anything about Raquel, like I don't
listen, that was staged.
Is.
I mean, come on. There are elements of reality shows. That was obviously like Lisa or the producer said, oh, can you go in and give this information?
Yes.
Like there are guys, this isn't a documentary. There are scenes. They know who's going to be in the scenes. They mic them up. That was obviously a planned thing. And that's okay. That's fine.
No, it's okay. Except for that, who it came from, like Ken.
But come on, that's a moment we'll remember forever.
From like one of her swans, honestly.
Yeah. Hanky and Panky come in of like,
Raquel. Yes. Believable. I understand. But I maybe believe that she didn't know. Like, I believe that part. But do I think that maybe once she did find out, like, she was like, hey, like, we can use this. We can do something with this.
Oh,
I 100% believe.
Well, they were at a FYC event, which is for your consideration event in Los Angeles this week, which means they're really promoting this to potentially get nominated for an Emmy. And I'm not joking. Like there is Emmy categories for reality shows. It usually goes to competition ones like Survivor, The Amazing Race, Top Chef. But Vanderpump there's a potential this could be nominated. Her, Lala, and Sheena, they even were there at this event. Lisa did an interview with Alex Baskin on stage. And Alex was like, listen, Ariana called us on Thursday. This happened on Wednesday. We made sure cameras were up by Friday. They borrowed the crew from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which was shooting at the time. It wasn't even their normal crew that was shooting. But Alex goes, yeah, we were up immediately. And Lisa goes, we had to. Like, I'm like, come on, Lisa. I do question how much Lisa's involved in her own show. Like, is Lisa like, we've got to get cameras. Who can do it? Like, I feel like that's the executive producers, not Lisa.
Right. Well, I mean, she does have a producer.
Of course, it's
role
her name.
In this, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, for her, she's obviously a very astute businesswoman. I think she just saw money, and I agree. I mean, look, people who don't watch the show are watching or paying attention. I have followers every day who are like, I've never seen one episode of the show, but I'm invested. The New York Times wrote up about this. I don't. It's
Dana, I was going to talk some Beyonce, some Taylor, but like we're so deep in this that it sucks up all the pop culture landscape right now for myself and for a lot of us. And I love it. I mean, like follow your passion, like I love talking about this stuff right now.
I do too. No, it's crazy. And
are you good for 10 or 15 more? Do you have a little bit more time?
Yeah.
Or you right? Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm just excited to talk.
No.
So I don't want to ruin your marriage, your newly formed marriage. She's like, come on, this is the reason why I don't think it's the Tom thing about, okay, so potentially Coachella, I believe, even though like I mentioned to this audience all the time, is like, we were there with them at Coachella last year.
Yeah.
So me and my friend, we were there. We didn't stay with them, but every day we were with them. I mean, Raquel was there, Tom, and I didn't like, if it was at Coachella, obviously this was after at their house, but I didn't pick up anything on that field. In fact, like Raquel was talking, like she was hanging out with Jesse Montana most of the time, which is another server at Sir. She was, I mean, we were all like, I would not have thought in a million years or even thought she was just like really quiet and like kind of nice and smiley. And
I was going to ask you, can she hold a conversation in real life?
So I've only hung out with her a handful of times, but this is what I said, even going into the season. I said, because I was there that night of the Daily Mail party when she said she didn't want to see Peter anymore. Like I was there that night, but I wasn't even aware of the storyline. So yeah. I saw that happen. And then afterwards, I was more concerned for her because I saw that Allie, DJ James Kennedy's girlfriend, was there. And I didn't know how they were, I was like, so I bumped into Raquel after that Peter conversation, I think, and I said, hey, how are you? And I was referring to this situation of Allie and DJ James Kennedy. And she looked at me like she did not know what I was talking about. And she was like, fine. I was like, oh, because, Allie and, and she's like, oh, yeah. Like it wasn't even, and that was the thing, was like, she was always so nice. Like, I don't want to like rewrite it. She was really nice, but it was just that thing of, I couldn't pick up on anything. Right. Like, anybody else on that cast or anybody else in real life, I can kind of usually pick up a little bit like, oh, this person's,
how they actually are.
Like I just could never see beyond. And that was the thing I would say even before this season, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, but I was rooting for her because she was the underdog.
Right.
And she was always very nice to me. So I always loved that, but I would never have in a million years thought she was part of some kind of deviousness against Ariana, because I also know how much Ariana rooted for her even off camera. Right. Like that was the thing where I was like, oh, that's not even a possibility. That's a joke.
So my take on her, on Rachel, is that she is a nice person. I don't think she did any of this with any like malintention. Like I don't think she ever set out to hurt anyone. I don't even think
it just snowballed.
Yeah, she is so like not there and just kind of only focused on her life. And I don't want to I'm not calling her a narcissist. I just think that there's like nothing going on. She doesn't think about things, and she's just like, it'll be fine, blah blah blah. Like, it's fine. And Lala, like when Lala was like, I see you, like Bambi-eyed bitch, like kind of saying that it's a nice girl routine, but I don't think it's that she's a nice girl like fake. She's not a fake nice girl. I think she just doesn't think about her actions, and she doesn't understand what her actions are going to do. And then I think she just believes, like, what did Ariana say? Something like she's finding herself in men or something.
Yeah, she's finding her identity in other men.
Yeah, like I truly believe that Tom was the one who's making the lies and sneaking around. Like I think he's the villain. and that Raquel was just, oh my God, you like me? Oh my God, you love me? Oh my God, you want to kiss
Hey,
me?
yeah,
Oh my God,
everybody likes
this
you.
is so
You're so,
fun. This is
you
so
know,
nice. This is
yeah,
nice. Literally,
yeah.
I think she just didn't see past like, oh my God, this like hot guy like likes me. Like that's what I think was happening in her head. And I believe that she believed everything Tom told her. And I do believe Tom said, you know, we're in an open relationship. We're not really getting along. We're not being intimate. Ariana and I never have sex because she looked shocked again, you know.
In the trailer,
We don't know
yeah.
about the editor. Yeah, we don't know about the editors. But in the reunion, when Ariana was like, we definitely have been having sex. Like I don't know what he's saying when he said we haven't been intimate in years, like that we're just roommates. Isn't that what Andy? Yeah, Andy was like,
Yeah.
you know, what do you want to say about Tom telling everyone that you guys haven't had sex in years and that you're just glorified roommates? And she's like, are you joking? Like we've
Yeah.
definitely been having sex. It cut to Raquel and her face was like, and the meme started going around like when you find out your boyfriend's been sleeping with his girlfriend.
Yeah, when you find out you're the person, yeah, exactly. I mean, you even sense that she was being lied to potentially as well, which
Yes.
that was I mean, I know this is like, you know, uncouth to think about, but like, this is my life was that on Friday, I was like, you know, so he potentially he was having sex with two women at the same time, of course, less frequently with Ariana potentially, but like, that's the other thing, like, dude, you know, he better not be raw dogging these women. And like, then, I mean, like, how dark is that to even think about? But I was kind of shocked that Andy didn't ask a follow-up question of like, Tom, are you using protection, man? Like, if you were allegedly with like two women in the same time frame, and I know that's, you know, it just, those are the things that I thought about. And in terms of the fan cam in the Peacock Extended Edition, this is something that I really kept zoning in on, is that when they talked about the Coachella one and Tom going, no, dude, it's not. I did not say that. I did not say that. Do you notice how they did not show the Raquel fan cam during that clip? Because if we saw the Raquel fan cam, it would actually let us know if that Coachella rumor was true or not, right? But we
Yes.
mysteriously don't see it. How come they cut to the Raquel fan cam every scene in that thing, but the Coachella one, Raquel's mysteriously absent, even though we're talking about her and their affair? I predict the reason they don't show that is because that is part of the big reveal, is that Raquel does say it was going on at Coachella. That's my prediction.
Okay, so I agree. Like, I really do think that they were going on longer than they said. I do believe that. But like, is that really that big
Would
of a
make people,
bombshell
yeah. Would anybody not
at
sign up for
this
the
point?
cast if they find out?
Right. It's
I
like
think
if it
there's
was
also,
7 months or a year, like what's the difference at this point?
I think there's a little bit of like Barnum and Bailey's like ringleader, like getting people still excited, even though I feel like I've reached my max excitement. I feel like they're still kind of, Andy does that a lot too, of like, this season of the OC is the best I've ever seen. And then it's like an average season. So I feel like there's a little bit of teasing in it, even though I don't think this needs it.
But why do we need to be teased like at this point?
That's what I'm saying. Well, the reason why I think it's Coachella, but I don't really believe it was going on during Coachella and the breakup. The reason why, and I know this is a silly reason, but just go with me, is that I interviewed Sandoval last January at their place, him and Ariana's place, and he gave me one of only 15 in existence, the Coachella wristband that Sandoval had paid. He paid the actual people who make the Coachella wristbands. He paid for these. He told me, this could be a lie too now, he told me there was only 15 in existence, and he gave me one of them. Now, I'm a nobody. Why would you, if you really had such sentimentality about Raquel, would you be giving a knob with a podcast one of 15 in existence Raquel wristbands, high quality, you guys? Would you really be giving those away if it was around that time that this started? Like, that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. He would keep it as a totem like serial killers do.
I don't know. I mean, we have to believe that there's only 15. I mean, do they have like a minimum order? Like,
Yeah, what he said, like he was like,
like
but
you
those
have
are
to buy
he
50 units minimum. I don't know. But I mean, do you not think it's weird that he literally contacted the Coachella people? Like other people
But that's
can't make
Tom though.
wristbands?
Dude, Tom dresses his whole band. Like Tom got his whole band fitted for out. Like he does things to that extreme. Like that is something that always seems to have
For
been a
not
part of
his
him.
girl, though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, he said in the reality of that situation, we did talk about that, is that in terms of like the fireworks and stuff, he goes, dude, I wanted to create a moment for television. Like he said he was thinking as a producer of like, listen, the show is, we want to make sure this show succeeded. We had a bunch of firings, the ratings. Like he's like, I saw this big moment in my head. They wouldn't pay for it. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll pay for it. So he said he was investing in the show itself, which actually at the time made complete sense.
Does make sense. Yeah.
And I just don't think he would pay a lot of money to have somebody else get engaged to a girl that he was actually in love with. I don't see in any stretch of the imagination where I've been wrong plenty before, but even then it would be even extra gross if it was going on that long though. Then you would be like, dude, that's psychotic that it took 2 years for you to come clean.
I will say that at the time when she and DJ James Kennedy broke up, I thought it was just because she'd become a full-time cast member. I always thought she was with him to be on the show. And then now, like, people have brought out receipts like, oh, she was a fan before and, all these things. So maybe they did really break up because, she got what she wanted. She became a cast member. And then her and Tom developed. I'm not sure. But I just don't understand how that would be the bombshell. Like, oh, it started a few months prior to what we believe. I just, at this point, I don't know if that's shocking to me. I don't know.
For me, I thought if production did know, that would be the thing that would piss me off as a cast member, because it'd be like, oh, you left me. Like if it was Ariana, I would be thinking, you left me out to dry. You knew this shit. You let me, and now look what happened. Like that would upset me because you have to. The producers are really like, they have this tightrope job where they have to they have to be nice to everybody. They have to win everybody over because they have to convince them to show their real lives on camera. So even during the season, things are changing. They're convincing people to talk about things. They were trying to get Joe to sign a release so they could use more of Schwartz's fun roommate, Joe. Like this is a delicate balancing act. If you lose the trust of these people, then it's like, how are they going to do a show? So that was the thing to me that was like something might come out in terms of production, but Lisa's saying, no, it's not the case.
Yeah. The thing that made the most sense to me was Lisa knowing. I think I posted, imagine your employer like blowing up your life for their profit.
I know.
But Lisa's saying it's not her, that it's going to I don't think she would make a very direct statement. I did not know. That's not what's coming out. So I believe.
Yeah. Why a lie on top of a lie?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying whether she knew or not. I don't know, but I don't believe that she would say the bombshell that's coming out is not me knowing. That's not the issue. I believe that.
I saw a lot of, I totally agree with you. Oh, the other thing, that other rumor is, I do think there is a little bit of play in the fact of splitting the shows up, because as I pointed out this weekend, back in the day, Tom told me this on the show, is like that season 8, or when they had the huge cast, when they had Brett, Max, they added all Dana, Danica, they added all these people because the real thing was they were splitting the shows. Vanderpump Valley, which was going to be the rise of Tom Tom, and then you had Sir with the new cast members. That really was the plan. And then Jax, Brittany, Kristen, they got fired. The new cast didn't work. Brett and Max had racist tweets. They fired them. They cleaned house of a lot of that cast, so they had to go back to one cast. I do think there is a world, and if you pay attention, listen, we can't believe most of what Jax says, but Jax keeps saying he's going to be on TV. Janet Elizabeth on my show this week.
I believe Jax. Listen. Jax is definitely a liar, okay? When it comes to his own life. But he doesn't lie when it comes to other people and things. You can quote me on that. I truly believe if you ask him about a personal thing, like cheating or whatever, of course he'll lie. And then later he'll be like, yeah, I totally lied. I believe.
Well, Dana, this is the only pushback on that, is that I feel like even with this, I've seen him on multiple podcasts and on red carpets with him and Brittany, where it'll be like, yeah, I knew about that. Schwartz told me about that. Brittany be like, he did, Jax, I didn't hear that. What are you talking about? It's like he makes up that he knows information that he doesn't know. And in fact, when I was DMing with him last week, he said that he had seen all 3 reunions, and the cast hasn't even seen all 3 reunions. So that just, to me, was this white lie that he threw out there, where I was like, you did not see all 3 reunions, dude. Because if Jax, I don't know. So that doesn't make sense to me. But I do think Janet Elizabeth on Friday said, I threw her a question at the end. I go, hey, when are Jax and Brittany going to say they're coming back to Vanderpump Rules? And I threw it out really quickly. And she goes, well, I don't think it's Vanderpump Rules, but they will be on TV again. And that stuck with me, because I was like, okay, maybe Vanderpump Rules there is going to be some split. Maybe there will be a Vanderpump Valley. You know, Jax and Britt have been kind of welcomed back, Dodie a little bit as well. Is there a world in which Vanderpump Vegas actually is a thing? Because why did they push Oliver so hard down our throats this season? Garcelle's son. Why did they introduce him multiple times?
I mean, well, there's also that cross, right, with Garcelle. But no,
Sure.
I always thought that they were going to do a Vegas Vanderpump edition, but I don't know. Is the staff at the Vegas place as like
dynamic,
but also like as like the longevity? Or is there high turnaround? I don't really know what it's.
I don't know a lot. I just know that Oliver works there. I know Lisa seems to always be there. She's hinted at opening another place in Vegas. So I would imagine, and also she let the lease go for Pump, right?
Right.
Pump is done.
Yeah.
From all things that I've been thrown, that Villa Rosa has been sold off market. So why would she be selling her house, selling Pump? There is a little bit of play in this for me.
Yeah.
They are getting older. Vegas is this huge opportunity. 3 restaurants already potentially out there.
What is the tax situation in Vegas?
Yeah, it's Lisa's a gangster, no, I do think there's something there of could they split, and they would split when this show is at the highest ratings it's had in so long. This would be the time to do it. I just keep thinking about why let us know Oliver? Why keep pushing that scenario? Like you introduced him multiple episodes.
Right.
Why do that if you're not going to use him again down the line?
Right.
Like he's the Jax.
Right. And they did that before, like when they were trying to get the main cast, they visited Vegas and they showed people. I don't remember their names now, but they showed.
Oh, there was names. Minnie Sheena. Remember Minnie Sheena?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Which, by the way, Minnie Sheena actually turned out to have I think some really deep, I remember people sending her stories, I think during the pandemic, I don't think Minnie Sheena is in Vegas anymore, but she had some real, I think a mental breakdown at some point. It was really sad. People were sending me stories. So hopefully she's okay. But I think they were setting those characters up.
Right. I don't know. So obviously, Vanderpump is at height of popularity right now, and you're saying okay, then we can split. But do you think that this is a fluke? Do we think it's so popular because of this one instance, and then it's gonna
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
you think it's just gonna be relegated to average after this?
No.
People are gonna stop watching, or do you think?
Well, think about it in terms of Beverly Hills 2 seasons ago. You had the Erica Jane, Tom Girardi stuff that happened, and everybody was like, I was glued to the TV. I thought, wow, right place, right time. It was able to capture this stuff. And then the next season, last season, it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Lisa was like a caricature of herself and just screaming all the time. I think the same thing with the Vanderpump is that right place, right time. We're going to have the after effects of that. So this season will be fun in that aspect. Will we have the white hot heat of this season? No way in hell.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
But it's going to make money.
So that people are going to be captivated for the following seasons, or are they going to watch this and then stop? After this is over, are they going to continue to watch?
No, they'll get a good portion of that people continuing to watch. Think about it in terms of even on Instagram, you have a wildly popular account, Dana. And when you post something that hits in on people, everybody's coming over to watch it. You see all the numbers and all that stuff. And then afterwards, even for the next couple of weeks after, you see the after effect of that. People are still hanging around. And then you start to see those numbers dwindle. I think a lot about in the same thing of TV. People are going to stay around just in case, and you'll see it just dwindle a little bit. But to me, this is so exciting to speculate. And Dana, I could talk about this forever. It's not dissipating for me. You're still as excited as I am.
No, same. I'm we still have so much more to talk about, honestly.
I know. I was like, Dana, please just throw away your wedding, throw away your plans. Let's do a live stream for 24 hours about this. Is there one thing you want to know? If you could be Andy at this reunion and they are attached to something that makes them tell the truth, what is the one thing that you're like, I need to know this above all?
I want to know, honestly, Schwartz's involvement, and if he really was making out with Rachel. At this point, I don't even know her name. I just say random things and hope it sticks. Rochelle, it's fine.
Just sounds.
Rochelle, whatever. If he really did that and was willing to hurt Katie and do all of that on camera for Sandoval, because if so, we can't be friends anymore. Me and Schwartz.
Well, I think about this all the time. Is that you said that both said this earlier, like, oh, Schwartz seems like a nice guy. And it is weird how we separate those things. He is a nice guy, but at the same time, I feel like he does really horrible things to certain women in his life. So where do you marry those two in terms of your own life, in terms of how we're friends with people and and I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh yeah, I have certain friends that are like, well, I wouldn't trust him with this, but I like him over here.
Right.
And I was like, I guess not everybody's 360 perfect, right? But it's weird.
Not
when
everyone has like
this.
a list that you have to follow to be friends like Katie.
Yeah, honesty, trust, loyalty.
Right. And I mean, and the running joke is that he'll literally choose anyone over Katie, but just how bad do you like how lack of like respect do you have to have for your partner of 12 years or ex-partner of 12 years, wife, to be like, yeah, I'm willing to like make you look stupid on TV and embarrass you and hurt you and all of this.
The one thing. She asked one thing
for Sandoval. Oh my God. Can we talk about Katie's mom and that whole scene? I'm
Dude,
sure
Terry. Okay, Terry, and we didn't see that whole scene.
Right.
Like they cut out the part where Sandoval tells her to like F off allegedly.
Right.
Terry was on Lala's podcast, and Terry, I shout out to Terry because Terry's probably listening. Terry listens to this show, and she is the nicest woman.
We love you, Terry.
But she was even nice before scandal. I mean, she seems like a really genuine woman. She reminds me of my mom a lot. And I like, who talks to mothers that way, let alone women? I mean,
that whole scene was completely out of pocket. I like the whole time I was like, what is happening? Like Raquel just struts over, starts this argument. That is an old argument. It's not even new. She's like, I have to talk to you about this. And it's like, ma'am, we have talked about this like 17 times. And then when she's like, I just don't like how you message Schwartz and you're like, gonna take the dogs. And when Katie was like, I don't know why you're concerned about my text with my ex-husband or my husband. And she's like, you guys are not together. I'm like, I wanted to throw something at her, honestly. Raquel was like, what are you doing? And then, obviously Terry, like she was like, hey, like, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, stop. Everyone's trying to tell Raquel to stop. And when she goes, what did she say? Like something, Terry. Okay.
Like,
Terry.
It was like, she was like, oh my God. And then she was like, okay, Terry. She said her name, but she also said, oh my God.
Just something. And I was like, girl, everyone is watching you going, what the hell are you doing? And now you're going to bring Terry into no. Mm-mm.
Well, a little bit of that is from a production angle too, is like, remember that was you guys, the season finale. Like we didn't know Scandal was going to happen. So there's a little bit in there of Raquel horribly trying to make something happen. And that's why she followed Katie out. Because when I talked to Katie, you'll hear this on Tuesday, I said, she was so in your face in this weird way. Like she was almost willing you to push her or something. Like she just wouldn't get out of your face. And she kept going, I want to talk to you. And it was like not her place. She didn't read any social cues, but part of me was like, I know production's not telling her to do that, but Raquel at this point seems like she's inserting herself so awkwardly that she's trying to provoke some kind of reaction. And I think that was partly, this is the last night of filming. I think she was a little buzzed, but it was so horrible.
I really think that she thought like, I'm giving main character energy. Like I'm going to be the number one girl in the group. Like, I really think that's where she thought she was doing. And I feel like that, especially thinking back to other scenes, like when she thought she was telling Lala off, every time I think about it, I have secondhand embarrassment for her. Way back the pool party, and she goes and she tells Lala off, or she believes.
Oh yeah,
and Lala's
You're
like
a mistress.
Yeah, she's like, put your thoughts together. I know you can do it. She walks outside, or she's sitting outside, and she's like, yeah, I told Lala off, and I'm like, did we experience the same thing? Because all I heard was Lala embarrassing you, and I feel like she felt the same way, like talking to Katie, because at one point she tries to hug Katie and Katie's like, don't touch me. And she's like, oh, sorry that you're jealous, or you're so jealous or something. And I was like, I don't know if you're like reading this the way the rest of us are seeing it. You look sad and this is embarrassing. And she was walking away with a smirk like she's jealous. No one is jealous.
Which, by the way, look at this shirt I got sent. A serial killer's wet dream with Schwartz, and it's graffiti painted. Isn't this awesome?
Perfect. It's amazing. Did
Yeah.
Katie send that to you?
No, I know. In fact, I wore it because I have a couple of them. In fact, I'm going to give them out to some of the listeners this week. I wore it during the Katie interview I did on Friday, and then I chickened out and I didn't want to show her because we were having such a good conversation that I wasn't like, check out your ex on this shirt that says your serial killer wet dream line. So
I'm sure she would have loved it. I think she would have loved it.
Yeah. So this really is one of those things that, and I also want to point out there was a story over the weekend or on Saturday that the FBI is involved potentially because Raquel was receiving, now this is a very serious topic, death threats. I do want to say there is a difference between us, minutely going over these scenes and a death threat. And if you don't know the difference, you've got to get away from the TV and stop watching. Like, period. This is ridiculous. If this is true, and the FBI cannot confirm or deny this, they can't on any case. Right. But this got pushed out to TMZ. It says her parents have received many. It's like, if this is true, grow the F up. Like, start a podcast and talk about little scenes like this, but don't ever. I mean, that's too dark.
I posted about this. I was like, can't we just like all like hate her and hate Tom? Like the way normal people hate people that are on TV. We don't know them. If I actually saw her in real life, I would be nice to her because I don't actually hate her. You know what I mean? But
I hate what she did to my friend. I do not hate her.
Well, you're friends with these people. I'm like more removed, right? So I think I said, I compared it to Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. She was like the one that like was making all the whatever. Like, we hate her, but we don't actually hate her. We don't know this person. Like, this is not a real person. So that's how I
she's
feel about,
legitimately not a real person.
Right. Legitimately not a real person. So like Raquel, Rachel, Tom, like whatever, everything that's going on there, like we hate, in quotes, hate them, but we don't actually hate them. Like, I would never DM her anything. Like,
oh no,
like anything
I blocked
negative.
all
I
of
would
them.
never be like, I hate you. I wouldn't even say I hate you or what you did was wrong. Like, why would I say that? Look, we're not friends. She doesn't know me. She doesn't know I exist. Most likely.
I will make silly memes that can be cutting. I'm comfortable with that. Like, I will make memes that are like,
but that's not the same as you going into their DMs and telling them something.
Oh God,
awful.
no.
I mean, I've had that like happen to me. I've had people who will DM me like all sorts of stupid stuff, like whether they're calling me ugly or oh yeah, what you're doing, you're stupid, whatever. But I'm like, why did you take time out of your day to like personally insult me? I don't understand.
I've gotten long emails like saying all the things that are wrong with me, and it really and I'm the right person to do that to, because it really throws me. I'm like, oh, this is so weird. Like, I'll be like, some of it I agree with. Like, I'll be like, yeah, I could see where you would dislike you. Like, I can even in the first part of this, I was like, oh, I was so excited to talk to you that I over talk when I get excited to talk to somebody, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get comments already. I already like 20 minutes in, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get slammed for over talking on Dana. Like, I was already writing the negative things that I will hear. Do you ever do that? You're like, I'm probably gonna get shit for this.
I mean, I don't know. I try to just think, is it like something serious? Like, did I actually do something that deserves like me to be accountable for? Like, I think about that. But if it's like anything else, they're like, oh, you stuttered too much. Like, okay, I stutter. And what are you gonna do about it? Don't listen then.
Would you ever trust Tom Sandoval again? I mean, well, do you think that you can get to a point where you would enjoy and root for him again on a reality show?
I mean, I think I would like maybe root for him on a reality show in terms of like, oh, like their store or whatever, their bar is opening. But honestly, the way that he was lying to Ariana for so long and the things that it was about, and then the way that he's like on this kind of apology tour, but really I'm a victim tour and continuing to lie. No, I think he's just a huge liar. I know we were just talking about Jax. I don't think he'll ever admit, like, at least Jax will be like, yeah, I lied. I totally lied. I don't think we'll ever hear that from Tom. I think he would just tell us that we were wrong till he was blue in the face. Like, no, that what I'm telling you is true. I'm being really honest right now. And he's straight lying to us. The
Caller Daddy interview, that piece of information came out that he went to bed with Ariana in their house, got up, went into the guest room, had sex with Raquel, then went back to Ariana's room and fell asleep. That's not been on the show yet, but it was on Caller Daddy this week. Daddy. And that to me is like, oh, that's another layer of depravity that is like, that's like just evil. That's not even
Yeah.
like I'm torn between two women. That's evil, dude. That's fucking evil.
No,
That's their
that's
own
really,
house.
really gross. And when you think about like Raquel, what were you thinking? Did she ever say, Ariana's in the next room? Like, I don't know.
Ariana's
I
upstairs.
would be like, my friend is in the next room. Like, even if
Yeah, like
there's no
you can.
cheating, like if it was just me and Trey, I would be like, someone's in the next room. Like, shh, like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, let alone like, oh, full on
Well,
cheating right
yeah,
next
like
door.
I mean, have rules. Only do it at her stupid studio apartment with the galaxy lights with that evil dog Graham. Like, do it over there. Don't do it at the fucking house. Like, are you
Right.
kidding me, Tom? Like, be like at least have some decency even in your depravity.
Yeah. And that also, just with him like lying, the depravity, the way that he was leading up to making Ariana look bad, like in the like final 2 seasons before the actual finale. And he was starting to, say the things like the batteries and whatever, like, oh, she doesn't do things for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all
Is
the
that
stuff.
not
Yeah.
so insidious? Like watching him try to set the scene.
Oh yeah, I mean that. Well, I keep saying that he reverse engineered it. He cheated and then started going like, okay, how can I make the audience understand what I did? So then he reverse
Right.
engineered of like, okay, what if I start saying that I feel like she doesn't respect me? What if I feel like I say she doesn't have sex with me? She doesn't do this. I need to start throwing, like all of a sudden it was a switch. And it's funny that that switch turned off when allegedly this started, because then all of a sudden it was flooded with these things. If Tom was saying that he wasn't if he was upset that production wasn't letting them share his real life, he could have chosen to do that much earlier. And
Right.
also Tom, it's bullshit what he said of like, you had that scene of the, like him whispering to production of like, everybody sharing their life. Like, dude, why don't you just fucking make it easy for them and say, by the way, I'm cheating with Raquel? If you really wanted production to follow the reality of your life, you could have told them in that moment instead of like, it's not some kind of 7 detective game of like catch the serial killer. Like tell them if you really want to share.
Right. And so really back to your question of like, will I ever trust Tom? Just thinking about that, like how he was trying to set the stage. He's still lying to us every day in all of these different articles and interviews. He hasn't just said, I fucked up and I'm not going to lie to you guys anymore. It's still, well, Ariana this, Ariana that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just.
But even in terms of the show, he does now a recurring bit where he goes, this is the song that my phone fell out of my pocket and some crazy stuff happened. Like he does this bit now every show. He does the Schwartzy's mom of Raquel is hot for me. Like, dude, this isn't like a theme park. Like this is actual life events. Why are you making it little parts of your show that are like, people are like, yay or boo? It's pro wrestling.
And then all his fake cries. I'm sorry, I can't with the when James was like, "Oh yeah, don't even start. Like pull yourself together."
Sorry, man, pull it together. This isn't the Academy Awards, man. Pussy, crocodile tears, pussy.
You like immediately stop crying. It's like a little kid, like when they're like fake crying, you're like, you're fine, you're not hurt, and they're like, okay, and then they stop crying.
It really was like immediately, because if James hadn't have done that, we would have seen a performance of all performances. We would have seen just like, I think he would have like fall off the chair. I think he would have like fetal position, sobbing,
Just
the whole
full,
thing.
like Pentecostal, like speaking in tongues at this point. We don't know.
Dana, I can talk to you
that's
all
how I
day.
felt watching the scene with Lisa, and she was sitting there looking very uncomfortable. I was like, I'm very uncomfortable at this like performance. He's crying in his hands. He's at the window, like
oh,
in black and white.
The poor housekeepers, and they're like, I just cleaned the windows. What did you do? He's like, ah. But also Andy said, well, listen, folks, I saw him in those one-on-ones. He was a broken man. And I go, for me, I'm like, yeah, he's exhibiting behavior that shows us that but to me, I do even sometimes question Andy. I'm like, it kind of seems a little bit stagey too, because you got to remember, even the things he said in that interview, they troll him within the show and show that one of the things he said was a complete lie. So he's already completely lying to Andy, which means that he's very aware of what he's saying in his performance, which to me is he wants to show he's a broken man instead of actually being a broken man.
But I also think that he is a broken man, and it's not because of losing Ariana. It's because everyone hates him.
Well, I think also just because I think he's a broken man that doesn't even realize he's I think he's he's really made some really horrible decisions in terms of like just morale decisions for himself and the people he says he loves. Like even Lala said, if you can do this with this person that you've been with for 9 years, I mean, that's what, she
What
said,
would you do to me? Yeah.
he said he's, this guy's Randall, which I know is a very extreme statement, but
I just made that I don't know. Is it a very extreme statement? Because she's not wrong. She's like, that's Randall in 10 years. Like someone who like is show-offy, like needs everyone to love him constantly. And I mean, I don't really know the intimate details of her and Randall's relationship. Obviously, he was cheating on her. And we're now finding out that he's been cheating on Ariana besides with Raquel.
Which could be another one of the big reveals, is that there's more than just one person, like he told Sheena. That was another thing potentially that could be a big reveal.
But is that really like a big thing at this point? I mean, even Ariana said on Call Her Daddy, like, oh, at least one other person that I know of.
Yeah, I think it's like, and she seems very indifferent. Like she talked about in the interview, I'm at the indifferent stage, which is a great stage. When you do something this horrific, you break things in a very good way for your partner. They can move on quicker instead of that kind of push pull of like, I still do love him. She's like, nope, that's you really did so many insane things. Right. So I totally get that. I'm just, it's that one thing. We'll find out potentially on Wednesday. But what scares me is I feel like we might not even find out to the third episode, or they have a secrets revealed episode. Will this be the secret revealed episode?
I think it'll be the third one, because correct me if I'm wrong. The third one is when Raquel is going to come out, right? Raquel doesn't come out the second.
Yeah. So what I hear is going to happen, you'll see the Raquel fan cam a little bit more. I think the third commercial break, you'll start seeing of like, we got to get ready. We got to get Sheena off. We got to get it. And then at the towards the end of the fourth, you'll see the walking out. Yeah. And then supposedly we'll cut there. And then the third episode.
Will be the Raquel episode.
The Raquel. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from Demois and like whatever, they were saying it's from Raquel's one-on-one interview with Andy that it reveals this big secret, this bombshell, right?
Yeah. But Andy doesn't even see, like, when Andy had Ariana on, it seemed like, I don't know, it's very confusing. Just that's why I don't know if it's even, we should temper our expectations on this as well, because Lala knows allegedly the big secret now. She said she found out at this FYC event from the producers. So if the producers are just randomly telling Lala at a public event, I also don't think, and Lala goes, oh, I know it, and oh my God, but she wasn't like, I know it and fuck them. And I think there's a difference. Like if there really was, and we got to get this rumor out there too, is that Lala and Ariana didn't unfollow Lisa Vanderpump. They never followed Lisa Vanderpump and vice versa. So you guys got to chill on that rumor that I keep seeing thrown around Twitter. That's not what happened, guys. They just never followed. Lala follows 330 people. There's a pissing contest with all of these people, and there has been for years. That has nothing to do with the secret. So stop that with the narrative. I know it actually plays well in regards to the Lisa thing on this, but it's just not true.
Right. I don't know. I'm actually prepared to be underwhelmed by this bombshell.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're going to get there and it's going to be like, Raquel, I don't know. I believe it's going to come from Raquel, but like, it's going to be something so like, oh yeah, we actually didn't start in August. We started in April. And I'll be like, okay, cool.
What if it's a big reveal about one of our,
I believe you guys hyped this up.
what if it's a big reveal about one of our lives? They're like, the big reveal is Ryan Bailey forgot to pay his 2021 taxes. I'm like, it's about me? What are you talking? Like, oh my God, that is a huge reveal. Why? Like, I'm scared that it's going to be a very reveal that has nothing even to do with the cast. Like, I mean, like, what if somebody's sick? What if, I mean, all these thoughts are going through my head of like, what's the big reveal? But we'll find out soon enough.
The big reveal is like Brittany and Jax are back and they're like, do you guys want to sign?
Well, wait a sec. No, Dana, that's actually very interesting. Well, what if the reveal, what if the reveal is them coming back, and will you still want to come back if people like that come back? I don't know. I guess that.
Well, I would be like, okay, plot twist.
What if Lisa buys Schwartz and Sandy's?
Does she not like own part of it already?
Well, no, she gave them supposedly 50. There's some of their investment money back from TomTom, but she, I don't think, is an investor in Schwartz and Sandy's. I don't think that's true because I think Lisa doesn't. I don't think Lisa thought that was a winning thing to do, anyways, with Schwartz and Sandy's. So I can't imagine her buying it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was loving though when Schwartz, like his main issue was our business. I was like, sorry.
No, but what if that's it? What if that would be the thing too? Now we're just like, what if that was the thing is that they tell them that the next season is going to be revolving around Schwartz and
Schwartz and
Sandy's and kind of
Sandy.
saving the business.
Yes. You know what? That would make sense about the don't sign because Ariana said she's not going to film with Tom like anymore.
Yeah.
So if they switch focus to Schwartz and Sandy's, obviously, if Ariana wants to stay on the show, she would have to film with Tom, right? I mean, it would have to revolve
I mean,
around.
they're gonna have to see each other at Lisa events.
Yeah.
Lisa's like the big connector, and I think that's why she's actually being as nice to the men as she's being. Is potentially she's trying to keep everybody in the fold because
Yes.
Lisa can't really alienate these men, even though we want to see her do that because she is thinking about dollar signs at the end of the day.
I don't necessarily want her to alienate them, but I do want her to say something like against him. I understand that she's like, I don't want to pile on. I don't want to pile on. But we haven't seen her go, Tom, what the fuck?
I know.
We've seen, I know you're a good person. It's okay, Tom. People cheat sometimes, and you just have to say sorry and put your big boy pants on and live another day. You know, things like that. Like, she hasn't been like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do this?
I do feel like I would love to know Lisa Vanderpump's personal history with cheating as well, because it seems like it is something that she is very familiar with. And of course, not even, it seems like there is something very personal, like, come on, everybody, it's natural.
All European.
But it is interesting. It seems like she's very, and I know that, but it is weird how we do normalize cheating through this of like, come on, it's not that bad. It's just cheating. It's just that. So it is this kind of like, oh, everybody does it. And I find that interesting. And I think that's actually good why, if some men out there and potentially women can see of like, look, like there's a potential of real disaster if you cheat on your partner.
Right. I wonder if it's a generational thing because, thinking about some of, older women, like the things that they had to put up with. And if she's like, no, I had to put up with it, so you need to put up with it too. And younger generations are like, no, I don't have to. I don't have to put up with it.
I need a Lisa Vanderpump flashback scene of like, Andy, it was 1968. I had just met Ken. I would love of like, he disappeared. This is before phones. And then I was at a bar and I discussed, it would be great if she does like tell us, why she does not take cheating as seriously as potentially the other women on this show.
I wonder if she's the cheater in the relationship.
Oh my God, if she hooked up with Tom, she's like, I've done both of them. And Nick Elaine, my love. Okay, we can keep going. I got to let you go. But listen, this has been all Vanderpump. How are you doing? You got married. You have a triumphant every Wednesday viewing party of Vanderpump Rules. You're going on your honeymoon this Thursday.
Yes.
Anything else exciting? Because your account keeps getting bigger. Do we have any TV deals in the work? What the heck is going on? How do we support? Because I feel like you're one of those people that have some things happening under wraps. Can you reveal anything?
I'm honestly right now just getting married. That was, listen, don't get married in terms of having a wedding. That is a lot. It's a lot. And I'm so excited for the honeymoon, but now I have to figure out the time difference because how am I going to watch the third part?
Where are you guys going?
We're going to Italy. We're going to the Amalfi Coast in Sicily for 2 weeks. So for part 3, I think the biggest episode, I'm going to be in Italy. So I have to figure out like, how am I going to watch this? What is the time difference?
Will you have a viewing party in Como? Will you in George Clooney's place, a viewing party?
That would be hilarious. Actually, if you have his number, that'd be great. Thank you.
George, if you're listening, I know you are. Please invite Dana on one of your little boats to Como and watch with you and your lovely wife. I bet there is going to be places. I mean, this does travel. It is overseas.
I know it is. So you're right. I'm going to figure it out. It'll be fine. But yeah, I'm so excited about that. So right now, I'm just trying to get through that and then enjoy the honeymoon and then try to figure out work stuff from there. But yeah, people can support me by following me. So
when in terms of just like, where this account started and where it is now, you couldn't have possibly dreamed the success of it. Are you a person though, that is very like vision boardy and like, after like, I will sit down and try to dream up and really, really think, are you that type of person? Or are you a fly by night type of person?
I'm more of a sciencey numbers person and definitely a fly by night. I'm not a mood board. None of that. I'm a planner. I'm type A, very much so. But yeah, like I'm like, we'll see what happens.
Well, I know a lot of things are going to be happening. It's all happening, as Sheena Shea says. IG famous by Dana. Dana Omari, congratulations on everything. And this went, I know we went 90 minutes and it still went way too quick. And we didn't even talk about any other pop culture things. Ozempic's still being used. Kyle threw Erica Jane under the bus this past week. It was like, you got to look at her. Don't look at me.
I
mean,
I made a reel about it. Like
any of that shit, but all that stuff is still out there. And Beyonce and Taylor are touring. That's all the pop culture that is out there right now.
I'm going to Beyonce.
How dare you? Do you have good seats? I bet you do.
I don't know my seats because my friend got it, but whatever. It's fine.
Blue Ivy actually came out and performed in one of the concerts this weekend. Blue Ivy.
I just don't understand why I wasn't born a Nepo baby. Like, what did I do wrong?
Well, that's why if you do consider having kids down the line, make sure you are successful enough where they can be a Nepo baby.
But then why? Like, I don't want good things for them that I don't have.
It's a great point. Yeah, run your career into the ground. Screw those kids. Yeah,
you will have nothing.
By the way, I do like when I talk to my mom, I'll be like, Mom, you could have been Kris Jenner and you just chose to now I have a podcast. Like if you were Kris Jenner, I would not have to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Or like my podcast would blow up for nothing. Like I would just show up like, and
we didn't even get Ben. Kardashian's first episode happened too, but it's just ridiculous when you compare it to Scandal. There's it's hard to even compare. It's apples and oranges.
Do you watch the Kardashians?
I do. Yeah. Religiously.
Really? Okay. I honestly don't at all. I just watch whatever clips circulate. And I feel like I know everything just from those clips.
You do. It's ridiculous. I mean,
the rest of it is just them shaking salads, right?
Shaking salads and production value is so top notch. I was joking. Kylie and Kendall don't usually film a lot, but in the first episode of this new season, they have a whole scene. Where Kendall's teaching Kylie how to use a stick shift, and normally in a really nice Porsche, and normally you'd be like, a normal reality show would have this activity and then they would be talking about actual things happening in their lives. Not the Kardashians. It's literally just teaching Kylie how to use it. You're like, you got to feel it. And there's no other conversation. It's like, you could be talking about Travis Scott. You could be talking about Bad Bunny. Nothing. It's just like, yep. Then put it into third. Okay. Up. And it's a long scene. Yeah. It's a long scene. And you're like, you guys, you're leaving out the whole part that we want to see is you talking about your lives, not you fucking learning how to do a stick shift.
But did you learn how to drive a stick shift after it?
I did. I got into 2 wrecks this week. I finally got it on the last one. And it really did seem very like a driver's test. And it was so dumb. And I'm like, you guys could have the best reality show of all time. You just give us little crumbs instead of a whole meal.
Honestly, I don't know where I saw this, but someone was saying look at what Scandival did. Everyone leaned into it. Everyone is showing everything. Imagine if the Kardashians didn't sweep their dramas under the rug.
And Dana, that was me. That was me.
Oh, that was you?
That was my post. Yeah. That was it.
Okay, sorry. I've just consumed way
too much. It's that's how it is. That was me. Actually, the Sun picked that up and did a whole article about that post.
Well, I've been thinking about it clearly. So that was a great post. Okay. Maybe you should post some more about it because what if they really did that? What if they really showed us any of the drama? If we saw the aftermath of Astro World here in Houston, what was actually happening, going on, they're freaking out. If they showed Kanye and we've seen the headlines, the craziness. If we actually saw any of that instead of them shaking salads and learning how to drive a stick shift and
they have Scandival 10 times over. They just won't show it to us.
I know. And if they did, I know they're already absurdly rich, beyond anything I can comprehend, but they would be even rich. I would start watching.
Okay. You heard it, Kris. Get on it. You see the ratings. You can't argue with these numbers. You have the material. Just put it on screen.
Just show us.
And also this Wednesday, where is the Houston watch party for you guys?
Be More Pacific. It's in the Heights, right off Yale.
Okay. Go. If you're there, this is the place to watch, period. And hopefully I'll talk to you again in the next couple of months because this is obviously awesome. We need to do a postseason, where you Monday morning quarterback the whole thing.
Right. I'm down.
Okay. Bye.